warming up and then down. We walked, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, I think it's still a work in progress. It's been quite slow really, but yeah.
What we found was that the patients who had given us blood before 2019, so these people had never seen the SARS-CoV-2 virus, they didn't produce any interferon gamma. But the patients who had acute COVID-19, so where we took blood samples over a short period of time, while they were sick, they were making interferon gamma, which is entirely appropriate. So that's what the immune system should do. But as they recovered, the interferon gamma went away. But what we found with the patients with long COVID, and these were people where we started taking blood from 6 months after their infection, their interferon gamma was still there, and it remained high for, in some cases, months or years after their infection.
Yeah. Nice deep breath for me.
You can see that here. So all the nice black lung tissue is replaced by this, what we call ground glass area, 18 centimeters rather than 22 over there. And finally, we have this set of images. This is about 3 months after discharge.
Their immune systems were responding to essentially nothing. We were not putting anything into these cultures. We just left their white blood cells essentially like in a petri dish, and they were already making inflammatory markers. So it's normally made by the immune system in order to fight off viruses, but normally it gets switched off once the virus has been cleared. What makes interferon gamma somewhat interesting is that it can be given as a therapy for certain viral infections in people historically with things like hepatitis C. And one of the side effects of interferon gamma treatment is that patients experience fatigue, they experience depression, they experience muscle ache, and a lot of the other things that are commonly associated with long COVID. And so this is why we made this connection between the interferon gamma production that we saw in the patients with long COVID and their symptoms.
You okay with that? Great. We're just going to start the noise of the scanner now.
Please breathe in.
So it could be due to a number of reasons. There's the possibility that the immune system was fighting the virus appropriately, but then for some reason it hasn't detected that the virus has been cleared and it's just carried on erroneously making interferon gamma. That's one possibility. A second possibility is that the virus is still lingering in patients with long COVID. And so it's a case that their immune system is still fighting a virus that is somewhere in their bodies, and that's what's causing the symptoms. And thirdly, it could be, and we see this in other viral infections as well, that the immune system was originally responding to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, but has now moved its response and is now being autoimmune. So it's being activated by something that's in the body, and that's what's causing the interferon gamma production. And fatigue is such a subjective symptom that a patient could go to their doctor and say, look, I've been experiencing fatigue for the last 7 months. And really, all they've got to go by is their words. But if the doctor is able to take a blood sample from the patient and see that the patient is erroneously making this interferon gamma signature, that then really backs up the patient with backs up what the patient is saying with something physical.